Welcome back to Ultimate Decades Challenge. The year is 1311 and we are in the very beginning of our first winter. Majority of people in our household went foraging and Eden is home with the younger kids. In this year we expecting two birthdays in Burning Brook household, Cora's and Harold's, which is both exciting and stressful. I've not been playing this family for quite a while, so I feel a little lost. What are we doing? What we did last? Why she went inside of the stove? Eden made some eggs. I mostly told her to do that because they were about to spoil. Because in the rules of Ultimate Decades, you kind of forbidden from using fridges because there are no fridges in medieval times. But also, people had ways to keep their food fresh for longer, like cellars or just, winter. It's not obvious, but it's winter right now. Oh, I remembered what we were doing in the previous episode. We were building barn. We now have barn for our cow. Not for Dragon though, he's a little too big for that barn. I also feel like I'm kind of behind on Sims 4 news because there is an update in game, there is an event going on. I'm not going to click on event. I want to play through it in Black Widow Let's Play. I just have less restrictions for myself in that Let's Play, so it would be easier to play through event there. I'm filming this literally on the next day after update, before the new DLC. I know that they updated Notebook. I never used it anyways. I also just noticed that you can write notes in here. Is it used to be here? I don't remember it. You have only 250 symbols though. And they updated Household Collections UI to make it easier to navigate. I don't think if I like this aesthetically, but it's definitely easier to navigate. Also, there is like glass walls in the game now. You can place plants on the roof, which I think would be so cool with our hay roofs. I'm not going to do it right now because it will cost money, but in the future maybe? I think it could look really nice, like overgrown roofs. And the only other thing in that update that I really care about is that they apparently fixed the rain and snow indoors. If that is true, that will be literally the best thing they did in a while. People should be back from foraging soon. It's kind of late. I sent them forage a little too late. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays I want them to go to the market to try and sell our veggies and honey, so we need to put everyone to bed. And it's the first snow in Hanford and Bagley. Cora, why are you awake? Dylan Grab gone into labor. She can handle that without me. Dylan and Grab had one female baby with... That's not your husband. Okay, my plate households having their own life. I'm letting you know that Thomas Watson has passed away. Who's Thomas Watson? Is it Priest? I just saw him. Walking around in the forest. What do you mean he passed away? Our priest died at night. That's very sad. Look at our farm, with the moon and snow on the ground. I honestly didn't even expect it winter to be this beautiful in Hanford. It looks like fairy tale. And let's check on the inside, shall we? I don't see any snow. I see stinky food, but no snow. It makes me so happy. It's now properly cozy on inside. Oh, good morning, Eden. How many boiled eggs we have? 4. We may need to collect more and boil more eggs so we can eat them throughout the day because they don't spoil, unlike our pottage. I'm slightly obsessed with winter farm. Before we go to the market, we need to take care of our animals and bees. I don't know why Dudley just holding Harold for no reason. His only action is just to hold Harold. Okay, I guess he's feeling like cuddling. I feel like we're ready to go to the market. It's a nice winter day at the market and I want to try something. I talked about this in my last build video, the build video of Pancake's house, about wanting to try and use eco-living community space mechanic for this marketplace. What I'm talking about is in Eco Lifestyle there is a lot type called community space. We need this board for it to work. I'm just going to plop it somewhere. There is like 4 types of lots underneath this one lot type. Community space. It also can be community garden, marketplace and maker space. What it does, it kind of forces NPCs to do the activities connected to each one of them. In the community garden, NPCs will garden. In the maker space, they will do activities like fabrication, candle making, juice fizzing, painting. In marketplace, in theory, they will sell their crafted goods. if it works. It would be very cool. But you need to have all lot types ready, fully built, with all required items for the thing to function. So we're going to do it now. And here is the thing. I'm actually filming this video for the second time. And first time when I filmed it, it crashed at this point when I was making all of the types of the community spaces. What it does, it actually replicates your community space, general one, and you can just add required items for other ones, for example, like planters for community garden. But what I think happened, this slot 4 times became like too much information for a game to handle. I'm actually going to bulldoze the slot for community garden and makerspace because I'm not going to use those ones and hope that it will help game to run better. We will have to plop required items, like just, planters. What else do you need? Waste disposal, sink, toilet, boom. Community garden, done. And makerspace will be kind of the same. Now this is my marketplace, but do not fear because I actually saved it on my gallery. Just don't crash. That's all I'm asking from you. Sorry if this explanation not really good. I'm doing this for the first time. I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, my lot is back and all of the requirements are fulfilled because I already have my sales tables. I have 8 of them on this lot. The only thing I'm afraid of that it will be general community space when I go in live mode and I will need to vote for it to become marketplace. We'll see. What are we at? It's good that we're doing this in the winter so the solar panels are covered with snow. Community space default, so we need to vote for it. How do I do that? Can only vote in home neighborhood? How do I cheat this? I need to come here as someone who lives here. Okay, hold on. We're going to do this as Greenwood family, because they live in this neighborhood. Welcome to Greenwood family. They're going to be voting for our marketplace. Voting is currently closed. When is it open? On Friday? It's Wednesday. Why? Can I cheat this? Wait. I think you can. Instant Enact Community Space Project. Marketplace. Oh, it's building. Every time I see this building lot pop up, I get scared. Okay, I think it did it. It should say on the board. Yeah, community space marketplace. And we're going back to Manage Worlds and back to Burnenbrook family. I think now it all should work. Let's try and sell. What are we even selling? We have honey and we have 16 watermelons that have 3 days until they spoil. We need to sell watermelons because honey at least doesn't have an expiration date. We also have this mushroom. I feel like her inventory is glitching. There is something about their inventories. It's just not right. Like, do you even see what's happening? Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. That's enough. Where did these watermelons gone? I'm just gonna put fish in here. But let me go. Now my cursor in the inventory is permanently a fish. That's great. Not only in the inventory, everywhere else too. Love that. Let's just 10 tables and see what happens. Dudley, you kind of going to be looking after Cora. Because in the previous episode, you were not really good at selling things. So you're going to be taking care of the Cora. This fish is so distracting. Custom cursor. Nom 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 nom. How is she feeling actually? I think she's good. We can just play with her. He immediately wants to put her down. He's like, I'm a man. I should not be doing that. Wait, someone buying something? I didn't even start at yard sale. Why did I got 46 simoleons? Is that how marketplace works? They buy things and I don't even need to start yard sale. So how much are we selling these watermelons, by the way? Let's do 50%. Today at this marketplace, Eden noticed some unfamiliar faces for her. It's Bob and Eliza Pancakes. From Juliana, Eden discovered that Bob is a merchant and he often travels with his wife Eliza. Bob brings goods to trade to Hanford and Eliza brings latest gossip. Juliana already saw Pancakes a couple of times in Hanford in the past. This time they also took their eldest son Iggy with them. He's also hanging out, talking to local kids. Maybe Juliana even tried to sell something to Eliza or Bob, tried to sell their watermelons. They're so tasty and so sweet. Maybe Eliza started asking Juliana about her life. Juliana told that she's here selling their goods with her... Who's Eden to her? She's the second wife of Juliana's deceased granddaughter's husband, who also dead. There's some very complicated relationships. Anyway, Juliana will just tell Eliza about Eden and that she's like, oh, she's just sitting with her infant. And Juliana will decide to go to talk to Eden, basically just find free ears. Eliza will just start talking about random stuff to Eden, maybe about their travel from Willow Creek to Hanford, about the fact that on their way they saw Landgraab's carriage, and apparently oldest Landgraab's son is now living in Hanford, and that she wonders why. Not like anything is wrong with Hanford, the nature is beautiful, but it's so far away from his family. Maybe that's exactly why, right? And Eden will say that she doesn't know that much about Landgraab's, except that they are landlords here. They all renting land from Landgraab's. Of course. Think about it. They now connected to the royal family. Queen Nancy is Landgraab's daughter, but you probably know that. She's nowhere near as pretty as Queen Bella was. May she rest in peace. Or Princess Cassandra. Have you heard about Princess' failed wedding? Of course. As you probably know, or not, before his death, King Mortimer had a pretty difficult relationship with his daughter. Maybe it's a fate of any father of young maiden. He was concerned about her future and about her marriage prospects. She was nearly 30 and not married still. But you know, the whole royal family seemed different since Queen Bella's long illness. When she first appeared before the crowd after her sickness, she changed, became quiet, and maybe she was just tired and still dealing with the effects of her illness. But right after that, people from Goth Castle started saying that King and Princess were fighting all the time. And as any father of hasty daughter would do, he wanted to marry her off and ship as far as possible, better over the seas. But because she's a princess and daughter of one so powerful queen, she still had a say in her marriage. Many eligible bachelors were invited to Goth Castle. All were turned back by Princess. None of them pleased her heart. Too old, too ugly, not smart enough, or just unkind. King Mortimer almost gave up. One summer she went on holiday to Oasis Springs. It was better for King and for her. They needed some time away from each other, to not be up each other's throats. And there, in Oasis, she met a certain young man. Peculiar young man. Apparently he's called Don Lothario. People say that he was living with two sisters, not his sisters, with no supervision, and courting both of them. From different sources I heard that not only those sisters were under his charm, he was actually courting their mother and both of the sisters. Very peculiar young man. I also heard that apparently he's been living his life like that for a very long time, traveling, using women and their money to fund his lifestyle. And somehow, he found his way to Princess Cassandra's heart. Could you believe that? What that man has to win trust and love of so many women. Princess Cassandra fell in love with him, and when they came back together to the Goth Castle, she started begging her father to let her marry that man. At first, King said no, obviously. Who is that Don Lothario? Nobody. He has no title, no money, no relations, nothing. But then King changed his mind. Maybe he thought that Cassandra marrying down and moving to Oasis Springs is actually perfect. She will be too far to cause trouble. Also, some servants from the castle said that King also took promise from his daughter that no one from her mother's side will be invited to her wedding. But that of course only gossip. Queen Bella would be one to invite her parents and brother, but that's quite interesting that they didn't come to Cassandra's wedding after all. But the most interesting part happened at the wedding. Guests were gathered, bride was beautiful, and priest was there ready to marry them. Until Don Lothario suddenly refused. In front of everyone, including the king, said that he doesn't love Cassandra, and because of that can't marry her. He left her at the altar and just left the Willow Creek, never to be seen again. Could you imagine? Of course not. What kind of man refuses to marry a princess, and why? And how did Princess' story ended? Oh, her story didn't end it yet. For me and you, such a public humiliation, being left at the altar or being such an old maiden, would be the end of the story, and very sad one. But Cassandra is rich. Being an old maiden only tragic when you're poor. Money can buy you freedom, even from matrimony. She left Willow Creek too, but she went to live with her grandparents in Windenburg, and I've heard that they love her dearly. For some reason, she also took her youngest brother with her. Maybe he will live with his uncle. I will also go to Windenburg soon. Maybe I'll get a chance to see them. My niece lives in Windenburg. Evangeline, such a sweetheart. She lost her husband recently. Juliana said that same happened to you. But she's marrying again to a lord. How exciting. Lord Villarreal, if I'm not mistaken. So I will maybe get a chance to see some important people like Princess Cassandra. I will tell you if I see her when I visit Hanford next time. What a lovely village. And nature is so beautiful. While Eden was busy listening to Eliza's chatter, Juliana was still selling our goods at the table, and the market day slowly coming to the close. Dudley showing masterclass at holding infants. Let's go in our warm house. It looks so welcoming and dusty. We all need to have food. Luckily we have our boiled eggs. Tomorrow is Harold's birthday and he finally will be a child, hopefully. And I think in the morning we only had like 300 or something. So I think we did quite well with selling our things. We still did not sold everything, and I'm a little bit worried about expiration date on our mushrooms and watermelons. And this milk only lasts 8 hours and will be spoiled by the morning. I'm so tempted to put it in the fridge. Maybe Eden can make cheese out of it? Let me see. Homemade ingredients. Goat cheese. Yeah, why not? Dudley, can you fix our barrel? We have a hole in the barrel. Today we're staying home. Can go collect eggs, feed chickens, retrieve compost, apply my treatment. That's a lot to do. Why are you running barefoot in the snow? Juliana can try and make a candle. Last episode I bought the candle making station and we can finally have lights in this house. I'm very excited about it. I decided that in this household I will only be using lights that we're making. Peter, what is wrong with you? Clean the cow, please. Dudley, you did not fix the barrel. Okay, and now milk bubble. The pathfinding in this shed is just painful. And Juliana finished our very first candle. We'll put it in the house, but in the evening. Why can't I drag this? Game seems a tiny bit off in many little places. Ooh, Eden is making cheese. More cheese. Dudley, can you repair this? We need animal treat, friendly treat. 8 of them. I want to send Juliana foraging again. This time we will equip basket. I forgot about it previous time when they went foraging. And you will take Peter, Dudley, and you can also take our creature keeper just for fun. Description of medieval cookbook mod says that in the winter foraging is harder and they will bring less foraged items. It also would be useful to have someone hunting, but Dudley feels too old and Peter feels too young. Eden, can you make us some onion soup? Sounds like ultimate winter food. Cora is crawling inside. Actually, I wanted to chat a bit about Peter's future. This very Christmas is soon. This very important topic. And Peter reached foraging level 2. He's preparing for life at 6 years old or 7. He probably 7 right now. In the previous episode, he aged up into a child. So I've been giving some thought to his future. The child life stage in Ultimate Decade starts at 6 years old. In the future, I would want Peter to become a blacksmith. When I created Goodman Family, which was Eden, her husband, and their son Peter, I already had an idea that Eden's husband was a blacksmith, and when Peter gets older, he would want to become one himself in the memory of his father. Juliana reached fitness level 5. Okay, it's been good foraging day, I guess, and also foraging level 4. Unfortunately, without father around, it will be harder for Peter. Someone has to teach him that craft, and if he can't learn from his dad, he has to go and be an apprentice to someone else, and it will not be free. In medieval times, kids could start their apprenticeship as early as 8 years old. I think I will wait until Peter is 10. And the time they spend being an apprentice, specifically in blacksmithing, can be anywhere from 4 to 8 years. How I decided to portray this in my Ultimate Decades is when Peter becomes 10, he will move into a different household with a blacksmith that will teach him everything and will live there until he's 16 years old. We will have to pay for that. I'm thinking 5,000 simoleons. I'm not too sure about this sum. You can tell me in the comments if it's appropriate amount or too much or too little. For me it feels like an amount of money that's doable to collect with this family, but hard. We also only have like 3 years for that until he becomes 10. And when Peter will be 16, he will move back with us. And I will give him blacksmith skill level. You know what? I will throw the dice to decide what level to give him. We will roll d10 and that will decide how good he is at learning his craft. 16 years old is the age at which the rules of Ultimate Decades for this period advise you to marry your Sims. When I started this challenge, I thought that I will wait until 20, when they become young adults. But example of Edmund's life showed me that 20 is indeed too old. Did you shoo out everyone out of the house, Dudley? And also my foragers came back from foraging. We need to unpack this basket. This looks so cute. I love how this basket looks. And I think it went to Eden's pockets. Do we have seeds? No, none of them found seeds. Maybe in the winter it's harder to find seeds. It could complicate things, because we make flour out of seeds. Why will... Harold, you want to freeze. It's cute that you want to hug Eden, but do it inside, please. So as I was saying, 16 will be average marriage age in our playthrough. Peter will probably marry at 17 or something, because we will need time to find his future wife. I have more thoughts about his life, what we will do when he is 16 and older and married, but we will talk about that when we get there. Because Peter will be subject to the death rolls until he moves out, so he can just not live long enough to be married. This is just my idea, something that I decided to add to this challenge. So not all my Sims are farmers. Most of them will be farmers, but some of them can go and learn skillful labor or be servants to someone, which also would work good with moving them out of the house. I won't do anything like that for our main heir, because, for example, now Harold is an heir and he has to stay there and learn how to farm and inherit this land and dragon and generational trauma. And I think it's time for us to age up Harold. Harold is the eldest child of our founder Edmund, and also his only son. I kinda need you alive. We will have to roll for him. Child cannot roll 9 or 19. If he rolls those numbers, he will die. If he rolls anything else, he will survive. Okay, here we go. Child's roll for Harold. It's 17. He lives to see another age stage. He aged up. Whoa. Okay. He aged up. None of his parents here to see that, unfortunately. Peter is here. Are you going outside? No? Okay. And apparently he used to be angelic toddler, so his first actual trait will be... I'm going to just randomize it. A child of the ocean. I don't know about that. His father was a fisherman, but it's more like a child of the river. I don't know if we even allowed this trait. Let me check the manual. There is a certain trait that we're not allowed to use. We're not allowed to use child of the island, but apparently child of the ocean is okay. I don't know, it just feels off. I will allow myself to reroll this one. Maybe this game telling me that I should continue this fishing thing with Harold, and this trait is just good, like the most basic trait. I think I will take good for now. He's still 6 years old. He can develop more personality as he ages. Aspiration doesn't even matter, I'm not doing them. Interesting look you have going on. And we immediately go in class with him. I'm gonna remove his skin details for now. We'll add them later. And he has pretty long hair. I still don't have hair for boys. I'm sorry. I can't give him the same hair that Peter has. I mean, the same person probably doing their haircuts. So it wouldn't be that unrealistic. He looks so unimpressed. maybe this, like his hair is longer than Peter's, and we can make it shorter when he becomes teenager. I guess this one also works. For now, we'll do this hair. I'm trying to make him look like medieval 6-year-old boy. It's not really working. I think I finished with his hair and face and skin details. I gave him very different brows. I thought that maybe if I give him softer brows, he will look more like a child. Now let's give you a medieval outfit. And this is what Harold looks like as a child, our heir of the Burnenbrook family. I did very similar thing with his clothing that I did for Peter, where I tried to make it look like he kind of has one set of clothing, but sometimes he adds layer. When it's hot, he removes layer, but to make it look like this is the same few items of clothing. And obviously for sleep and swimwear, he has just his shirt, and for sleep I left his hose on because we in the winter and it's really cold. Here you go, Harold. Now I need to think about his future. Yes, he's an heir, but he also has to do something with his life. He's making a snow angel immediately. Will he become a fisherman like his father, despite the fact that Edmund didn't live long enough to teach Harold fishing? Or will he just be a farmer, or do something else? I want you to hug your dragon. This is your dragon now. You inherited this from your father. And he acquired dragon taming skill. Should I immediately send him foraging? Like, you're 6 now, you must work. Can we hug him? He's your great-grandson. Maybe we can invite your grandpa, Garrett, and he can take you and Peter hunting. And Garrett could be the one teaching boys hunting. He's just a lot younger than Dudley. Why is this fire? Is it you doing this? Okay, now when Garrett is here and with him the whole Greenwood family, let's go hunting. We go with Peter, we can take Alvin, it's Harold's uncle, and also Garrett. Garrett taught Edmund how to hunt, he will teach his sons too. Look at them all. Alvin needs a makeover, I know. Eden just taking a nap. And Juliana also taking a nap. Winter evening. Harold needs a bed, so we need to do a little bit of arranging. We have enough space for bed. We will give him this kind of bed. And we will put one toddler bed in our storage. Ignore the computer, it's for me. Also, I don't know if I showed you... I think I never showed you the portraits that I made for Edmund and Martha when they got married. Then I made a portrait for Eden and her first husband, and I actually have portrait for Eden and Edmund when they got married. The separate one for Edmund because he's a founder. Their house doesn't feel like a place where portraits would be displayed, so I don't really show in them right now, but I will be making them for each generation. Juliana can take a moment to chat with her daughter and granddaughters. She sees them so rarely now. Oh, and Dulce back to her old habits, yell in fear. I think it's time for everyone to start going to bed. Dudley, why you putting her on the floor? And they came back from hunting, and they're very dirty, just as Edmund used to be. Did you caught something? They actually did. At least Peter caught a pigeon and a squirrel. We're going to give it to Eden. And Harold caught a small rabbit. You did great, boys. You did great. Looks like we will need to do laundry in the morning. Oh, and snow is melting. Why is it melting? We're not even in the middle of winter. Also, guys, I kinda need you to all go home so I can speed up time and we can watch snow melt on Greenwood Farm. It's Friday morning and I thought that we will go to the market again, but apparently it's Christmas. Our first Christmas in Ultimate Decades that I completely forgot about. It feels like it should be something special, but I have no plans for it. Also, it's Cora's birthday today. One of the Christmas traditions that I chose when I was setting up all the holidays for this save is attending holiday ceremony, which is in my head is going to church. Today it can be going to Christmas Mass. I think the most logical time to do it is in the early morning, but we will quickly check in on our animals. Eden will make some delicious fish heads too, and Juliana will make us some extra candles, because after we will go to church, we will take all of that with us and go to Greenwoods. I think celebrating Christmas at Harold's grandparents' house feels appropriate. Also, they a little bit more well off than we are, so maybe they inviting people to their house, but we're still going to bring a little something, a stew and candles. Everyone is ready, everything is done. I'm going to send them to holiday ceremony, the rabbit hole version, so they can complete the tradition. and after we will go to our actual church building. They came back and we got notified that Rahul Chopra has passed away. He's a townie from Hanford Bagley. He's a grocery deliverer and son of a mayor. What with NPCs dying in this episode? Our priest died in the beginning. I'm sending them to the church and we're going to pretend that they didn't come back from the holiday ceremony because it was at the church. Also, I just noticed that it snowed again. And here's our mayor whose son just died. I'm going to tell Juliana to give her a hug and try to console her. I also want to send Harold to mourn his parents. It's his first time visiting church and cemetery as a child, so he can go to his parents' graves and mourn them, which is just going to add to the overall sadness of this Christmas. The last thing that I want to do in this episode is age up Cora. We will leave the actual Christmas celebration, like Christmas meal at Greenwood's house for next episode. We're going to start with that. But I will age up Cora right now so you won't have to wonder until the next episode if she survives her role or not. Because it's scary out here, let's not add to Christmas deaths. Cora is aging up from infant to toddler and she cannot roll 4 or 8. Let's roll for Cora Bernenbrook. Let's do this. And she rolled 14. This is a good number. She survived her roll and she can age up into a toddler. Oh, she has such a nice fancy hair. She also earned some bonus traits as an infant. Top-notch infant. But she will be fussy toddler. Tiny troublemakers who love to cry. I feel like she's the first difficult toddler in this family. Peter and Harold been very nice, easy toddlers. So it will be interesting, it will be something new. Let's take this fussy baby into a class. This is what she looks like. I'm going to change her hair first. I just want to give her some simple braids. I'm going to change her eyebrows to a little bit softer looking ones, give her skin details. She does also have that unimpressed face, the same as Harold does. I feel like Edmund's genetics coming back to bite me. I can see his grumpy little face in his children. When it comes to outfits, she's going to be wearing the exact same things that Harold wore when he was a toddler, because we're trying to mimic clothes being passed down from older siblings to younger siblings. So what Harold wore when he was a toddler is the exact same things that Cora will be wearing. So this is her everyday outfit and also her outfit for cold weather, and this is her sleepwear and swimwear. And this is her hot weather outfit. I actually don't know if she will still be a toddler when summer comes, but just in case. And I think we're done. It's actually really easy with toddlers. I'm so happy that both Harold and Cora survived their roles and got to age up. There is a hope that we will potentially will have a side household on our second generation, because these kids are the second generation. It's all we're going to do for today. Right in the beginning of the next episode, we will go to visit Harold's grandparents for Christmas dinner. For this episode, that's all. If you liked it, don't forget to leave it a like, comment on it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Ultimate Decades or other historical builds and gameplay videos. And maybe if you crave another medieval fantasy let's play, check out my Black Widow series. It is less historically accurate and a lot more chaotic, but that's exactly why we love it. But for now, that's all. And I see you in the next video. Until then, bye!